Hello friend, Amit is here. So actually we are trying to create one mini project kind of thing where we will push all different kind of the mapping and there the relationship between the user, author, customer, book, order and address and order item. So this is just like a online shopping where user can log in. User either maybe the author or maybe the customer. If user is a author, they can add book on the cart, and if user is a customer, they can order that book. If they order the book, they must have some address where that online shopping will be delivered that order, and order have a order item list. So here exactly means we have the many relationship like that. Here author and book have a many relationship, many to many relationship, end to end relationship, because maybe one book wrote by the multiple authors, or one author can add a multiple book. And other than mapping also many relationships here like that. Order have must have one address, one order have a one address, so one to one relationship is here. So one customer have many orders, so one to many relationship is there. So and we also have a collection mapping, set related thing, as well as we have inheritance mapping here. So in this example we have all the mapping, and we try to explaining about that design pattern concept also, and how we can utilize that, how we can build this functionality and we can achieve the code standard, as well as we can create one project that will be completely fit on the industry standard. We already created, we already explained the many thing. I just quickly want to refresh about that thing. So here if you go quickly, then I will just go through that. So here we know till now we know that few design pattern like a data access object pattern, factory pattern, template pattern, transfer object pattern, and we know how we can write a service and service interface. After that we have to write a service implementation, and we will create a multiple packages, and we will put our code, our classes inside that particular packages. Like that we have a service IMPL, model, TO, util, DO, configuration. So many packages we will create, and according to the name we will put the particular functionality inside the particular package. I just want to quickly explain about this thing again, that will be quickly refresh about your knowledge, and it's easy to understanding your functionality. Like we have a data access object. So data access object means we can access functionality, and it quite means very famous about this short name DAO. So data access object pattern or DO pattern is used to separate low level data accessing API or operation from high level business services. So here what actually we want to do, here we have a data access object interface. So this interface is define the standard operation to be performed on the model object. The next what we have a data access object concurrent classes. So what exact the data access object implementation is available inside that interface. Immediate concurrent class implementation is here. Like that we have a address DO here. So this is an interface, and it method is called all our abstract method, and its immediate implementation like this address DO is here. So we have hibernate address DO or address DO implementation. So I have implementation of particular method. For example, if you go and check that, it have add address. So add address implementation is here. So this is a concurrent class implementation, and we have that implementation here. So interface is here, data access object interface. This interface define the standard operation to be performed on the model object, and after that we have a data access object concurrent classes. Here data access object concurrent class is here. This class implement above interface. This class is responsible to get the data from the data source, which can be anything. So here we are getting the data. Here we are getting the data through that property util get, and we are passing this data, and we will get this address. And after that here we are responsible to call C hibernate util dot save object. After that we have the model, that is a POJO classes, that we are dealing with the address or ATO. Here address TO, two different kind of data is coming. That here as a parameter we are getting at address TO, and here we will typecast or converting into the address type, because we want to loosely couple. So we cannot use that directly like that. We will get the ATO here, and we are not going to pass that ATO directly here. In between that we will convert into the helping of the property util functionality, and we will after that we will pass ATO, because we just want to one layer between of that. Once maybe sometime if you have a changes inside the ATO, then it's not affect anything here, because we are dealing with the address that is a local store in our application, and we will take that your object and what exactly we will require, we will put through the setter method, we will put inside the add method, and we will after that we will call here. So it make the loosely couple of the functionality. So model object or value object, this object is a simple POJO content, and it have a get set method, and through that we are doing our operation. So only 3 tasks is here. So data access object interface, this interface define the standard operation to be performed, that will be provided by the senior guy, or maybe you can also sometime that developer also responsible to write. But most the cases, if your application is designed by the architecture, they only design this interfaces, and they will provide that interfaces. After that we have to write that implementation inside that concurrent class implementation, and here the implementation we have that implementation, and here what we are doing a few operation with that particular object. Here we have that address conversion, means data conversion, model conversion. We are getting some different class data and we are converting to the different class data. So TO transfer object to, we are converting to the particular object, and after that we are calling that functionality. So that is the only task of the data access object. So now factory we already used, 2 factory we are using here, one Hibernate template factory we are using, as well as I will show you that. So util classes we are using a 2 factory, C Hibernate util template, this as here DO, we have DO factory. So what exactly factory is doing? So factory pattern is one of the most used design pattern in Java. This type of design pattern come under the creational pattern that I already explained. As this pattern provide one of the best way to create object. I already explained about that, because we want to achieve this singleton kind of thing. That's the reason we will execute inside the static block itself, and we will create that object. Whenever we want to this object, we will call this object and we will get through that particular method. If you want to change something, you can write this kind of method, and this method is responsible to return all different kind of object in the single method. So but here what I am doing, I am just writing a separate method to responsible to return all the object. So anyhow this all are the good. If you can write a generic method to return all the object, then it's also very good, because only one method is responsible to return different kind of objects. So this is an example of the factory pattern. And next is a template pattern. The template we are using a Hibernate template. Actually I already explained about that. Here we are using a 5 functionality, like a address, book, order DO, order item, user item. So here 5 functionality is there, and all 5 we have the 4 inner functionality. If we have an address, then we can do the 4 functionality on address, either get the address, either set the address, either update the address, either retrieve the delete the address. So the same functionality, 4 functionality, add, update, delete and retrieve, we will do in the all address, book, order item and user. So if you go through that 4 per means 5 multiply by 4, it's a 20. So 20 method we have to write to achieving it persistence of class logic, means Hibernate logic. Other than that, what we are doing, so we are writing a separate only one method that is responsible for save, that is responsible for load, that is responsible for retrieve, and that is responsible for get. So and it is a generic method. We will pass this object to that method. That method will understand. We have to save that this is address object. So we have to save under the address address table or the particular table name. If it is a book, then it will save on the book, and we can save the lot of code as well as the maintenance problem. For example, the save logic will change. If we are not using a template kind of thing, then we have to change all the 5 different save logic, but we have only one save logic. So if even the save logic will change, or sometime we want to achieve something is different, then we can just go to the save method and we can change it. So as well as a template also provided by, because we would like to we would like to force the developer follow some standard, and you could not you don't have that much freedom to write any kind of code. So here template we are using, and this template is responsible to get that particular object, and after that save or delete or retrieve or update in the database. So C-Hibernate template is have a complete Hibernate related code. Other than all, we have just using a design pattern and all other related to making our project standard. Other is a transfer object. What we are doing in transfer object, we are not getting a direct entity object. So below of that we have the transfer object. Whenever we will call through the client, we will create a transfer object and we will pass that, and during that operation through that this class property util, we will convert TO to that particular object. So how we are converting that TO to particular object? So we have all the object here, like address TO equal to new address TO, and here we are setting that particular object for the address. Whenever we will get a address particular object, we will convert into the address to address TO. So what we are doing, so address TO and address both have the ID, street, state and city. So we just getting this information and pushing in that information inside the address TO. So it is a get address to from address. So when we have an address TO, we will convert to the address TO whenever we have a requirement. If we are getting an address object in particular database, and when we will convert to the address TO, we will get like that and we will convert it. And the same opposite direction, we will get the address TO, we would like to convert into the address, we will call the particular method. So I have all the method that is responsible to convert the functionality. For example, here I would like to convert from address means address TO to address, then this method is responsible here. If we have a address just opposite direction, if we have an address I would like to convert to address TO, then we will convert it. Why this both is responsible? For example, we would like to save that object. Now we have an address and we would like to save through the address TO, then we will save into database. We will take the address, we will convert into address TO and we will save in the database. Just think about the opposite direction, when we would like to retrieve the object and we would like to convert into the particular means we would like to send back to the presentation classes. So that time we will reversely swap it. So here between that one layer is there. So presentation classes will be used some different entity or Pojo classes, and persistence layer will be used some different entity classes. So same kind of thing here. If you would like to convert author to form, then here author we have, and we will convert to the author TO to author, and the opposite direction you would like to convert, then we have author, we will pass the author and author TO and we will get to author. So both the direction we have, we will pass author, we will get author TO, we will pass author TO, we will get author. Same thing, we will pass customer, we will get customer TO, we will pass customer TO, we will get customer object. Here we will pass book object, we will get book TO transfer object, and here we will pass book transfer object, we will get core book object. Same thing here will be apply. When we will pass the order, we will get order TO. When we will pass order TO, we will get order. When we will pass order item, we will get order item TO transfer object. When we will pass order item TO, we will get order object. So here all two method is for one application, for one direction. They are converting TO to particular object and again particular object to TO. So whenever the first direction, when we are going to push that data inside that database, we will use one method. When we will get that data again, that database to particular object, we will use second method to convert. So here, because this just adding one layer between our low level layer to the persistence classes layer. So whenever sometime we have a requirement to change low level classes or low level entity classes, or even sometime we would like to create some new column in the database, then no need to worry about that. We don't have to change much more code, because we have the layer, we are converting that object one format to other format, then we are doing the operation. So that is not affected anything code. We can directly change the code and we can work it. So next is that transfer object. I already explained that transfer object is just like a model. It is exactly same model that we are using, like that address we will create exact same class. Even we can copy that address class, just we will change that name address TO, and it will be utilized to transfer that one form object to another form object. And here service and service implementation, that means we have the service interfaces, and after that we are implementing here. So after that we creating a multiple model like a service IMPL model, TO, util, DO, configuration, and we are doing this operation like that. First we are getting the address DO from DO factory, and after that we are creating new address and we are adding this address. So add, how we are doing? So add, we have this method when we'll call add address and we'll pass ADO1 here, so it will go to address DO, but address DO we are not doing operation. So address DO we have to convert under the address. So this conversion logic inside that property util class, so we will call property util class here get address from address to. So we will pass this ATO and we will get this address. So that method is responsible to convert address transfer object to particular address object. So after that we will call hibernate template dot save object and will pass this address. So here hibernate operation will be happening through the address object, and low level when we are creating this object, that will be happening through the that transfer object. So no direct connectivity here address TO2 directly here when we are going to save that object in the database. So one layer between of that reason it is a very loosely couple. So two things is there when we will write any application, either it is a tight couple, either it is a loose couple. Tight couple means all the code is a very tight. Just think about the code that you are writing in the one JSP page, single page. So there we have a servlet logic itself, there we have the HTML logic itself, each and everything is there. For example, we have to change in the future something, then we have to change on the classes itself, means one file itself, and it will be affect HTML code also, it will be affect servlet code, Java code, each and everything is affected. But here when we will like write some loosely coupled logics, and when that layer will become like that, when presentation classes like HTML JSP will come, or the business classes inside that when we are writing some core Java code, and after that persistence classes where that we are writing a data related means a database related code, then all layer are separate, and even if you will change something in the first layer, it will not affect to the some other layer. Because of that we are doing that conversion, and that conversion is responsible through that property util, and property util will be convert that object here and store here. So C hibernate util, after that we are call that save and it will be saved. That operation we are going to do here. And next and main major thing we have to understand about that mapping. So how we had map our all classes into that table. So here what we are doing, here we are using a Hibernate core application. So Hibernate core application we have to map under the .hbm.xml file. So here we have a address, author, book, customer, order item and user, and here we have a relationship like that. We have a user, so user may be author, may be customer. So user may be author, may be customer. So user may be multiple author, multiple customer, and after that author may have a multiple book, as well as multiple book may belong to the same author. So here many to many relationship is there, and see that customer have a order. So one customer may have a multiple order. So here one to many relationship is there. Again order have must only single address, and single address belong to the one order. So here one to one relationship is there, and one order have multiple items, so one to many relationship is there. So that relationship we have to map under the .hvm file. We'll see that after that how we can map that same thing in through the annotation classes. So that mapping we have to do here. So we'll see that how we can map our address object, book object, order item object, and user object. So as we are using here Hibernate core, so we have to map under the .hvm file. So first we have to add all the .hvm file under that Hibernate configuration.xml file. So what we are doing here, because we are using a core, we have to map like that resource, and if we use annotation, then we have to replace resource with classes. So I have mapping here, mapping tag under that resource. So I have added com, visual path, Hibernate, model, and address hvm.xml. that is a pointing here. This address.hvm we have under the com, visual path, Hibernate, model, and address.hvm.xml. if it is a class path, like that class, when we are using an annotation, we have to write class here, and we have to that like file path is here, we have to use class path. So class path means like that, com dot visual path dot hibernate dot model dot address, and after that nothing. .hvm.xml we don't no need to add. Whenever we using a file path only, we have to specify complete classified path. Whenever we use some class path, we no need to do some .java .class thing. We just have to add the class name, and without any extension, like that we will use. We have to use like address dot only address, not address dot hvm or address dot class or address dot java anything. So because we are using a core, we have to add under the mapping resource. I already added address. So this resource for book here, com.visualpath.hibernate model book.hvm.xml is here. The next is the resource again, that is a order. That order, when they will means user can create any order, that information is available in the order classes, and that is available under com.visualpath.hibernate.model. So all the this entity classes available in the particular model itself. So we have the model, order.hvm.xml. same thing for the user. We created the resource, and here we have the users, user.java. So we have to map under the com.visualpath.hibernate.model.user.xml. The next is the resource for the order item. So I added the same thing, com.visualpath.hibernate model.item.order item.hvm. hvm means hibernate mapping.xml. so this is a standard name. So if you want to change anything, like you don't want to order item here, you just want to create some new model, then you just create a new model. You will create that particular class, and you specify your name as your wish, and but after that you must use for the mapping document .hvm.xml, because this is a standard. Through that we can understand .hvm means this is a Hibernate mapping document. Here the same name you see here. Here we have .cfg.xml. cfg means this is a configuration document. So if we use this naming, this type of naming, means we can understand that this is a mapping related document, this is a configuration related document. So even if you want to change the name, it's not a big deal. What the name if you want, you just change it, but must use that suffix with .hvm.xml. And other mapping related thing as it is, nothing change here. So we have to create that session factory. We know that all means session factory is a multi-threaded long-lived object, and that session factory have all information related to particular object, and that session factory will be created through that configuration object. And once the session factory will created, we no longer utilize of that configuration object. And session factory, if we want to means deal with the multiple database, then we have to create multiple session factory object. So here under the session factory we have to add driver class. So as we are using a MySQL, so I have to add com.mysql.jdbc driver, and after that we have to add Hibernate connection URL, that is we are using a MySQL URL. So here JDBC MySQL localhost, when actually MySQL it's running my local machine itself, so I added localhost. Even the localhost you can use 127.0.0.1, that is a localhost IP address. And if you want to run this MySQL to another machine or some another place, then you have to provide the particular IP address, and whenever you install that MySQL, you have to provide that port number, and that port number you have to add here. After that you have to create that one database inside that MySQL and you can utilize it. So now we are using a visual path. Quickly we will check that, means visual path, if that have some table or something, we will delete it, because we would like to create a fresh table and we can understand. After that we will see that table and we can understand our mapping and how the data is storing and how data is retrieving. So I already okay, yeah, so table. So yes, visual path have a many table. So either you go to delete one by one table, either just drop that database and just recreate it, and after that utilize that. So better to going one by one tables, we will drop the complete database. Drop database, drop database name visual path. So 12 row affected, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So 12 is here, so all are deleted. So now we don't have a visual path, so we have to create database visual path. So drop will use create. So now we have the visual path, so we have to use it. Use visual path. So database change, we just quickly check that. Select or sort table. So tables S. So we don't have anything here. This is a very fresh database, so we can utilize that database in our application and we can run it. So here URL means that have a JDBC driver, JDBC MySQL, and after that local host, and after that port number, and after that that database name. So what database we are using here? We are using a visual path. This database, we just database changed here, use visual path. So this database we are using, and after that we have to add username and password, and this dialect means that it will be point to that we are using a MySQL and anything related to a particular database. For example, we are retrieving object, we are saving the object, some query will be generated, we see here inside the console. So but we are not writing any query, so Hibernate runtime system is responsible to generate that particular query automatically. But Hibernate runtime system they can deal with the different database also, like Oracle or any kind of database that is supported by the Hibernate. But here how they can convert our logic into the particular database query. So because when we want to save that data, we have to write. When we want to retrieve that data, we Hibernate runtime system have to create some query. So because of that dialect only, that particular query will be generated. So we will force here Hibernate runtime system, they will create MySQL dialect, MySQL query, because we are using a MySQL dialect here. And so SQL, I already explained many times that if you any query will be generated by Hibernate runtime system, that if we want to see under the console, we can write true. By default value is false. If you delete it, we cannot see here anything related to query inside that console. As well as if you write a false also, we cannot see anything here. So here HBM2 DDL dot auto update means here we are doing the multiple operation, and each and every operation, if we write a create, so that will be delete the table and that will be create one more time. So we will not get the all information related to particular table. Sometime we will run only the address operation, sometime we will run author operation, sometime we will run book, customer, order, as well as order item related operation, and that all table is connected to each other. And when we will write a create, so means each and every operation time it will be table will be dropped and table will be created by newly. So that information before of that inside that table, that we will lost, because of that we will I am adding update operation here. So what Hibernate runtime system will be do, that will be check the table. If table is not there, that will be create a table. If table is already there, then that will be push our data inside the table. They will not responsible to drop our table anytime. So this is the update, and this is the code, that configuration as it is. We utilize this code in many places. No much more changes is there, only mapping file changes is there, because we are using a core configuration. So we will use the resource related configuration. So quickly we will check that all the Hibernate mapping how we mapped. So we will go to the top to the bottom and we will check that how they are mapped. So here first we have a user. So we will check that how user is mapped. So user have author and customer. So after that we will check that how author and customer is mapped by here. So here we have the user. So user.hbm.xml. So it is a very plain class, because this is a top classes, and here we have to map each and every classes, because we are dealing with, this is a top class and this is related to all the different entity classes. So here exactly same Hibernate mapping we are putting under the package com.visualpath.hibernate.model, and default lazy false as it is, nothing is changed. After that we have the ID. Here ID generator automatically we are using, that increment, we not changing anything. And next all user classes, what the property is here we will utilize here. So user classes have this 1 2 3 4 variables. So we will add that all the variable as it is under the property, full name, email, and we have a login. So login may be the multiple person log, so we will add under the map. So this is a collection mapping. If you not understand the collection related thing here, just quickly check my collection mapping video how we'll map it. So here the collection Hibernate provided many way to map it, like a list, set, bag, or array, or map, this kind of thing we can map it. So here login have a multiple relationship, that login information we would like to store into the particular map object, so it will be mapped here through that map. And after that we have a join subclass relationship. So means it have a two concurrent classes. So this is a inheritance relationship is here. So user have immediate author and customer. So this is a super class is user and it have a author and customer. So we would like to create a joint subclass, name is author, and table author related table we would like to create, and key column author. This is a related to inheritance mapping, where we going to map our author class with user. So next we will come here element and list, because here index, because we are using this particular mapping. Yes, and inside that mapping we have a list mapping where phone we can store multiple phone also, and here email id we will adding the set inside the set. So maybe the multiple email id we can add the particular author. Here also set where multiple book can be added into the set. So this is a joint subclass. So subclasses, this is a inheritance mapping. Inside the inheritance mapping we are using a multiple collection mapping. We already used map, set, list and all kind of thing. So just it is a easy, already I explained that all mapping thing. If you not able to understand, quickly watch my video that is related to particular inheritance mapping as well as the collection mapping. Same thing is happen here for customer, because customer also have the same relationship. Customer also a subclass of the user, so would like to map with inheritance mapping. So inheritance mapping user and customer, between of that. So again we will map into the joint subclass customer and customer. Here customer id is a key, and after that I already explained that like that list or sheet is there, bag also provided by the Hibernate runtime system. This is a one kind of the collection where we can store only value pair, not a key and value pair. So only little bit different between the bag and list. Just quickly check my video. So actually I use different kind of collection here because it will be a refresh our knowledge, and we can utilize all our collection in the single places. And after that property we register all the property, customer type, phone, date of birth, that is a normal property. It will be not a multiple like a property. Customer type, it is a single, and phone number here I would like to add the single. Date of birth is only one, so you no need to do any collection kind of thing, but order maybe the multiple. So I added that order under the set. So maybe the multiple orders is there, so all order will come under the set, and that column through that customer id it will be mapped. So joint subclass. So two subclasses is here. So this is a mapped. So user have the multiple collections object as well as it have a two subclasses. The two subclasses we will use joint subclass concept and we will map it. So joint subclass, what they will do, that will be establish the inheritance relationship between the two table, and that concurrent classes will be create the particular tables. So two table will be created for the concurrent classes, and that particular information will be stored here. That information may be the simple mapping, may be the collection mapping, and all mapping thing we utilize here. That first mapping is done. That user related mapping is done. User have that author and customer is done. So we will go to the book and we will check other also, how we are using author and customer. So now author and customer will no need do anything much more because we already merged with our main class user. So just quickly check that how we are doing with author and customer. Yeah, so we already mapped here the two subclasses, so no need to do this mapping itself because we already add all the property inside this mapping itself. So next mapping is book customer, or this side book, and book have many to many relationships. So author may have multiple book and multiple book may belong to multiple author. So we'll check author right now. Author and book have a relationship. So author we just add as it is, no much more changes is here. This is a very simple classes. We'll see under the book. So book we have many to many relationship based of author. Other than that, it is as it is. So Hibernate mapping, inside that mapping we will add packages, and after that packages we will create that particular class name, and id generator we are using an increment, and we would like to create a primary key as a book id. After that all property, book name, price, publisher, and all thing is as it is here. Only thing is there, maybe that have a multiple authors, that author we would like to store into the particular set, and here we have many to many relationship between a book and author, that many to many relationship be established. Just quickly watch my association mapping related thing, that will be very clear when we use many to many and all this kind of relationship. So next relationship is here. Next relationship is here, customer, order and address. So we will check that how one to many relationship, order and address will be established here. So order HVM here. So we have the same thing, Hibernate mapping after the packages, classes and a primary key generator increment. All the property I wrote here, the simple mapping like order date, total cost, total numbers, status and all thing. But here that have the address with one to many relationship. So this side we will add many to one relationship with the address, and after that we will store into the set where order item also have one to many relationship. So order item have one to many relationship. So here means one customer have multiple order, that we added and many to one through the customer classes and customer ID. So many to one relationship established between here. Just 1 second. So order and address have a relationship between one to many, and I will see that the next is the order item. So order item we no need to worry about that, it is a very simple and automatically all relationship be established. Now that this thing is done, I will quickly see that what the user we are doing. User we have two inheritance mapping between the customer and author. The two joint subclass be utilized to mapping author and customer, and after that we have a relationship between address, book, order and order item. We already established all the relationship, we already mapped here. So our program is completely ready, and here we can run one by one and we can see that what the value they are showing. Just quickly close it. I would like to save all, no problem. So here what we are doing, we have a client 1 where we would just like to store that particular value. Client 2 just we want to update the particular value, and client 3 we just want to retrieve that value, we would like to see that value here. So because right now we are not using any presentation classes like HTML kind of thing, like where we have the form, we have to submit that form or we will retrieve that form. So this thing I pushed inside that main method itself, because we completely want to focus on that how we can write a code, a standard code kind of thing. Here we are not going to do some cosmetic kind of thing. So it is easy to understand the functionality wise, because we are writing the functionality under the main method itself, and cosmetic thing we will see when we will write the main method, main project. We will update this same project with the main project where we have the presentation classes and presentation code. Through that we can create a form, and form we have to add item, order item. We will create an online kind of application, and there we have to deal with all the things. But right now we no need to do anything, because we just try to understand the concept, how the industries follow, how the standard software when we write where means exactly place where we will create this particular bin classes, and where we will write a factory method, where we will write a DO, where we will push our client code, where we will write our HBM code, where the exact place pushing for configuration logic, what is the interface, how we can utilize that interface, and how we will implement this functionality. If we going to implement that functionality, where exactly we will put that implementation. This kind of understanding it's required right now for creating this project. So because of that only I created all the functionality inside this client code itself, the main method itself. Here one more thing we have to understand, just we will check here. So I have the very fresh visual path code here, so we no need to worry about that. We just have to run this three functionality. First we will run this three functionality, then if it is successfully run, we will check that tables, and after that I will explain that what exactly I am doing here. So run the client one first. So we can see here if query will generated and some exception will become, we can also see that. So yes, that query is generated. It's generate a mini query, means lot of operation is happening here. And after that we will run client 2, where we will just want to update the functionality. If like item is already there, then we would like to update our item address kind of thing. So I just run this functionality. Yes, so it is also run. Few thing is not found. Okay, some value like that customer who have ID 5, it's not identify. I would like to retrieve that particular value, so we will get this kind of exception. So it's not a problem. Customer 5 is not there, then it's okay. It will not affect anything in our project. And here we just want to retrieve the function, all the value, and we would like to show under the console. So yes, data is stored like that: book related info, author related info, email address related info. So we have that all address here. So we just quickly go here and we'll check that a table is created or not. So show table. So how many table is created? Author is created, address is created, author and book, because we have the many to many relationship between author and book. So one mediated table is created. After that books is created. After that CCNOS is created, customer is created, email, logins, order item, order, phone and user, means order total 12 table is created, and that all 12 table is through that we can utilize the functionality and we can store our online shopping here. So I just go one by one in the client code, and I would like to explain about that through that it is a very clear. Yes, so we achieve it. Now we have a multiple tables. That table automatically created and table value is stored here. So we'll see that how we are running. I already explained that very quickly, that how we are doing here. So what we are doing through address TO, we are getting the address through do factory.get address, and here we have TO object. So we'll create a TO object and we will pass into the address add address. So between the add address method, here what we have, we are taking the address TO object, but we are not doing any persistent operation through that object. So we have to convert address TO to particular address object. So for converting this object, we have the functionality under the get address from address to. So we have to convert. If we pass address TO, then we will convert to address, and we will pass address, then we will convert to address TO. So that functionality, when we will get the address TO, we will convert into the address object, and after that address object we will pass that save object under the c-hibernate util and we will add it. So c-hibernate util, here c-hibernate template, that we have a save object and that is responsible to add that functionality. This is a one functionality. Similar kind of all the operation either we are going to do with the author, either we can going to do with the a customer, anything we will do that operation the same way. This 5 steps only, what the steps I wrote here, that will be we going to utilize here. So what exactly here I am doing, so we have a Hibernate factory. So Hibernate factory have all the object, user, book, address, order DO and order item DO, and after that all we have that particular method. Through that it is returning the object. So here I'm not going to create all the object here. So because of do factory have all static method, so through that name we will get all. So I created address do here, that variable, and after that get address do. Same thing we will get address factory dot get user do, and we created all address do, user do, book do, order do, and order do item. So we have all complete instantiated and initialized of all do factory object here. And after that we will create author related information and all like that. We have author here. So author we have to create author have exp, age, company, email, phone, and book. So we have this 3 list set and all kind of thing, and this is a 3 properties here. So when we will use add author, we will add map login hash map, and we will add login related information, user ID and password. So author will log in, then they may log either YK this one or either SD this one. So to login information they can use, either they can log in through YK and this one because author I just added as a author, either they can use this password, either they can use this password. So I added this one. Other field that we have to set, like emails, we have to set here. If you quickly see that address, then it have author, yeah, it have emails, phone and book, set, list, set. So we have to create one set, we have to create 2 set and 1 list, and we have to add. I just try to create this object, author object, nothing, no big changes is here. After that we will call this author constructor, we will pass that object here as map login information, after that full name, email ID, experience, age, company, and after that email set, multiple email is there, phone number, multiple email is multiple phone is there, that will be stored into the list, and set book, that list of the book here. So that same thing we are doing here. So I just created a map where that login information is there, user and ID and password. Through that author can log in. After that we have a set where we are going to store all the email ID related to particular author. After that we have the list where we are going to add multiple phone number of that particular author. And after that author to TO, because we are not directly doing the operation with author, we will create author TO is equal to new author TO, and we will pass that login information, this information, and set list and set information. And we just one author is created. Again we created a 2 author. So now we created a 2 author, and we have the author 1 and author 2. Same thing we will do with the book over here. So we'll create a book TO. So book TO have a book type, this thing book TO have only it is only using a set of author. Other than it is as it is, a very normal thing is here, either integer or string. So we no need to do much more operation here. So we will create a book TO and pass this object and here, and after that we will add here. So after that adding the customer. So here customer we have to create like a login information of the customer. The same thing what we will do here in the author, we have to create particular customer also. So customer, what the customer have, we have to instantiate that. So customer have list, string, long, string, set, list. So we have to create 2 list and 1 set, and other are the normal primitive value. So primitive value we no need to worry much more about that. So but we have to create the login related thing, that login related user ID and password we are doing key and value pair when we are pushing under the map. So just created a map where user have either Amit 1 2 3 they can log in, either they can log in Sumit and Sumit 1 2 3. So 2 login information is there. Amit can log in with Amit user ID and Amit 1 2 3. Sumit can log in Sumit and Sumit 1 2 3. This is a thing when we will do the dynamic way. Then we will create one form, and through that form we will ask to user just enter your user ID and particular name, and we will submit it, and we will check that in database already that user ID is there or not, because here we are using a map. Inside that key is a unique, so we cannot use a multiple key with the same name. So we will check in the database that already that user is registered or not. So inside the database, if already that a particular table have that particular name, then we will return back that error that user already registered. So you can use some other name, but here we are using a very simple, we just creating a map, and there we are inside that map we are pushing the user ID and password. So how many user ID and password is there, through that we can log in it. After that we created a list of CC numbers, and we will put that all numbers, and after that we will create a customer TO as it is, and we will call to add customer. So what is add customer, what is doing a add book, we will see that. Now we will quickly go here, the same thing we will do with the order. So order we are created order TO, and we will pass the parameter, and after that we will ADO, that is a DO object that we created here through that DO factory, where we are adding this one, and we are calling add order. Same thing we will did with address. So address TO object we created, and after that we will call add address, and here order item is there. So we have a multiple order item, so we will create order 1, order 2, order 3, order 4, order 5, and we will add all order inside the order item. And now we will check that how exactly this functionality is working, like first is add author. So how that add author is performing, so we have a order DO, so we have this interface, and its implementation is there. Just click control, then open implementation. So here what we are doing, so we are getting a author TO. So author TO we will call property util and get author from TO. So we just want to convert. So what exactly it is converting, it have a same two kind of object, author and author TO, that getting the value inside the TO and setting to the author. So this just a getter and setter functionality is there, not much more changes is there. So author TO it is coming here, so we just created author equal to new author, and this author we are adding. But just change this name, then it is quickly understandable. Refactor name, you would like to change some name or something, will change like refactor, and after that enter, so it will be refactor it. So that much value is refactor, we don't need to go line by line and refactor it. So author, or this is not correct, so again we will refactor, click refactor, refactoring name. So author, it's a small a here because this is a reference variable. Now it is a correct. So author, we created author here, and after author dot set user ID, what we are setting, what we are getting here author TO dot get user ID. Same thing we are doing with set full name, set email, set exe, experience, age, company, and after that this operation. So nothing is there, just we would like to convert author to author TO to author, that functionality is calling here. So after converting this one, here we are calling add author. Just 1 minute. So open declaration here. So after converting, we are calling c-util.save object. So we'll go to the save object here. So save object have what they are doing, that getting the particular object and they are saving that particular object. So here we have a session factory SF c-util.get session factory that I already explained many times. So after the getting a session factory object, we'll create a session transaction and we will do session.save object. So when we'll pass that object, Hibernate runtime system know if that object is there. We have the mapping document here. Through that mapping document, it will be stored that particular information in particular tables. So that same thing we have the update object, where we are doing session.update, we are passing object. So here whenever we call send different kind of object, even that object related to address, author, book, customer, order item, order, user, anything we will pass here. It will be, if it will be call update object, it will be update here successfully. It's not any problem. So this phone method is here, that is responsible to do all the functionality. So same thing here, add author we will doing the same thing here we will do with the add book. So add book again responsible to add the book related information. So no much more changes is there. Again this we are doing the same thing. Property util, we are converting transfer object to particular object, and we are calling save object functionality. Here save object we are doing session.save, and we will pass that particular object, and here we are creating this functionality, and after that session.save. So same thing is here. And add customer, again add customer is same. So we are converting TO to customer object, and after we are calling a save object, and here session dot we are calling session.save. Add order, as it is same, converting through property util, transfer object to particular object, and we are saving that object through here session.save. So here same address item, add address item, session.save, add. So this class is responsible to add all the functionality. Here something is missing, like we have here we would like to set author to book. So we'll set it here. We create a list and we will set here, and this again set author to book, we will set it, and we will add this all the set customer to do, will add this functionality here. So association address to order we will done, association customer to order will done here. So again association order item to order, that just a mapping related thing we are doing, and association order to order item we will map it. So few functionality is missing, so we are doing here. And after that this client 3 we just try to retrieve here. So user do we have. So here what we are doing, we are creating that particular class object, and we are getting that particular bo dot get author. So get author have the related to return author functionality, and here we are getting the particular author through that by the database, and we are printing this one. So here all the functionality related to not only author, we have a get customer by ID also. We will change that ID, we will change it, and like that you can load book, load customer, load means we can retrieve that database code. So retrieving database code, you just write like that, and we will check that functionality is coming or not. Just run it and retrieve that object. So yes, we are getting the object. When we try to retrieve the email, login, phone, we are getting this complete object, and through that you can create one project. So I am thinking now it is a very clear, and you can create not much more effort is here. Just go through that design pattern concept, as well as that packaging concept, as well as use that transfer object kind of thing, and use your do factory kind of thing, and just create this project. This is very easy, and once you will able to create this functionality, you have clear picture about all the mapping, either the simple mapping, either the collection mapping, either the inheritance mapping, either the association mapping. So now we cover all the mapping related, and this project will be have a very clear picture about that, how we can write our standard code utilizing all the mapping concept. We'll quickly go here and we will check that how table is created and what the information is here. We will go one by one and check that. Select start from address. So address have one address information that we added the functionality, and after that we will check that author. Author is spelling is mistake. So author, we have author ID, experience, age and company related thing. Again we have author and book related comparison. So again we will just check that books first. Books. So we have this books, but here author and book have many to many relationship. So I already explained that many to many relationship cannot be established between the directly two table. In between that one mediator table will become. So author and book is a mediator table. What is the table name? Authors and book. Oh, underscore. So they establish the relationship like the book ID 1, that author ID 1, book ID 1, that author ID 2, book ID 2, that author ID 1, book ID 3, that author ID 1. Through that they established the relationship between this and this. Again we have that other classes also. So we will quickly see that classes also. So address, author, book is there, CC numbers is there. Select a star from CCNOS. So again user ID and CC number related information available here, that is just related to mapping. Just go through that code, you can easily understand this table and all. So now next is a customers. So we have a customer related information here. So next is a email, that email related information. So email with user ID, and users is related to, like we see that users, user have mapping here. So one user ID that have two email ID, stnyk@visualpart.com @visualpart.com. Like that 3, that name is Amit, who have, whose user ID is not mapped with here. So again we have the login information where we can check that login related. So we have a multiple user ID and password that is registered here, that during that operation we registered. And next table is order, phones and users. So orders we have, phone numbers, this is stored under the phone table, and last users information that I already see. Users information is here. So quickly go through that project. Just create this client DO, just write an interface here. After that implementation, DO implementation, create a DO factory where you just create all the instance of the all object, and do factory is responsible to return that functionality. Create all the model classes here that have getter setter method and parameterize and default constructor. After that, all mapping document, through that we can map it, and after that we have using a transfer object kind of thing, because we would like to loosely couple the functionality between the presentation layer and persistence layer. We would like to create some new TO object, and through that we will convert the data. And next we have the template where we are writing exact means code of the persistent related data. We not write any other way to persistent classes like Hibernate related data, Hibernate related code. So Hibernate complete code under the template only, will not writing the any single code to anywhere. So after that, say Hibernate util is there, that is returning a session factory object, and this is a property util is there, that is responsible to convert. If TO object is there, then that will convert to particular real object, and if the real object will become, then that will be convert into the TO object. And this is a mapping is there, Hibernate configuration mapping. So this is a main class where we will map the particular classes. So now it is a very clear. Just go through that project and try to create. This is a one basic infrastructure of creating any kind of project. We will just change this project to annotation, as well as we will utilize the same concept and we will convert into the big project. So this is a very main functionality. Just go through that quickly, and yeah, just refresh all the mapping videos knowledge if you are not understanding how we are mapping. So go through that simple mapping, collection mapping, association mapping, inheritance mapping video, and just watch it. And after that, you just try to create this functionality. It is a very easy, very maintenance less, and yeah, I am thinking if you start writing this code, you will very happy, because this is code. This code is standard, and that follow the industry standard also. And the same code we will try to convert into the big project, where we will create some HTML code kind of thing also, and we will we will do that real time login, real time creating order, we will placing the order kind of thing we will do. So till now it's a fine. Thanks for watching the video. We'll come with next with the big project and other concept of Hibernate.